as long as I've known you, I do want to kind of start at the beginning. So tell me how you got to Cabo.
Okay. So it was 2000. It was year 2000. That was the first time I visit. I visit during winter, so I spent there the New Year's from 2000 to 2001. I had a distant relative cousin of my dad or something that they haven't seen each other since they were kids or something. So somehow, I don't remember even if it was like through Facebook or how, but this cousin reached my dad and they came to visit us to in Monterey, in my hometown in Monterey. So they spent some time with us. So it is an aunt and two cousins. So they spent time with us, and then I guess they just wanted to reciprocate. So they invite us to come to Cabo. So my brother and I went to Cabo, and it was 2000, and it was just it wasn't
That's
the
25 years ago. So you must have been what, 10 years old or
like
something?
three. Yes, and then so yeah, it wasn't because even when I got there in 2000, there was like people that had been there for 20 years, and they're like, oh, this was just a fishing village and whatever. It was a little more civilized. There was one stoplight at the entrance of Cabo. So it's definitely way more rustic than what we have today. There was no Costco, there was no Mega, there was no nothing. Um, but yeah, I remember truly being very amazed and impressed with nature, with the ocean, with the wealth, um, and just the lifestyle. It was just something that I didn't know about. Like I didn't know like something like that exists. So it also was a longer stay. So we stayed there for about a month. So we spent there, yeah, Christmas, New Year's, my birthday. So it was enough time for me to be able to feel that feeling was more than a burst from a vacation. Because if you go somewhere, it's like, oh, 5 days, this is amazing, and that's it. But being there and living there and seeing the people and the lifestyle and all of that, like, just spikes something like I just don't want to leave, right? So
Well, it fits you. You're a very spiritual person, as I've come to know you over all these years, and this is a spiritual place.
it is. It
So
is.
I
I
kind of get
truly,
why you would connect.
yeah, I truly believe that. I think some people might not like understand that there's depth in that. Like there's literally geographically how the place is geographically situated
Mhm.
makes a difference on how people are there and how they yeah, it's like, I don't know, the Pacific Ocean and then the Sea of Cortez, and you have like the winds and the wildness of the Pacific Ocean, and just like the yeah, the how do you say, like the coziness of the Sea of Cortez with the whales coming. I mean, it is very, there's a very spiritual base on nature, on how that place is and why it's so magical, and why I also think it builds results for many of us if you know how to manage it properly.
Well, I think that you're a very intentional person. So you get emotionally attached to things, and I think that kind of resonates in your messaging. Is that you do? I think you said deep dive or however you want to describe it, but you are a way deeper person, and I think that would you say that you're a citizen of the world? So you've been all over the world, and does Cabo give you that inspiration? I mean, is that kind of, you get that from this place, or how did you transition from that long vacation to kind of where you are, because you started your career here, I guess, right?
Pretty much, yes. So I was finishing university. So what I did is I was still studying graphic design in Universidad de Monterrey in Monterrey, Mexico. When I went to Cabo, and then I loved it so much that I wanted to come back, but I was still studying. So I had to make an agreement with my parents that I was going to, how do you say, like suspend for one semester to come to Cabo to work and to also like raise money to help them pay my private university, right? So I remember, yeah, my dad didn't want to. My mom thought like I was going to just, pretty much if you leave, like she's not gonna come back, right?
Right, she knew.
Yeah, but I did. Like, it was a commitment. I set up the time frame. It was going to be 8 months, and then I went back to Monterrey, finished my degree, and 2 days after I graduated, I grabbed one plane ticket. Yeah, the one flight, the one, how do you say, like one-way ticket to
Yes.
Cabo.
So what was your first project here? I mean, when you got here and you showed up, there was nobody like you here. I mean, I had a horrible time finding you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
there weren't people doing what you do so well. And maybe just describe a little bit, because I'll tell people what I think you do, but I want to hear from you what you think you do.
Okay. So what I do is going back to the aspect of being intuitively, the best way to describe it is I communicate what the business or the person or the establishment have to say, and my projects will be related with people that I like and people that I feel that they are doing something of value. So my greatest strength is being able to listen to the needs and also somehow capturing the talent of that person. Because what I believe is that sometimes people have their talent and they want to put a business, right? And then they are trying to do that, and that sidetracks them from the main business. So it's pretty much like I take all of that weight out of their shoulders. I'm like, I'm here, I listen to what you have to say. And because I also, yes, travel a lot, I am able to see other trends. I am able to be like, all of these different countries, see what other people is doing, how are they doing it, and how can I transform those ideas and what I learn on my trips to different projects. That's one. And the other one is that because I also work with a different variety of industries and different sizes of organizations, that also gives me a lot of understanding and flexibility on how to adapt certain things that maybe they're from a different industry and put it into something different and make it work. So I like to see the talent in people and distribute that information so other people can know about them.
Well, the thing I know about you that a lot of people will come to know is that you're one of the few extraordinarily creative people that are also very well organized, and you do have a way of listening and condensing and making it their own with your help. And so you do the creative side, but you really, really help people, I think, as you said, get themselves organized first before you deliver the message. So when you and I met in 2012, you kind of put my company on the map. I'm Michael Baldwin Properties. I was just, kind of relatively new in town, and I hired you. And so tell me what it was like to work with me as a client.
Yeah, so it's been like you said, several years. I think we got in contact from a friend of a friend, and you were starting your being independent.
Yes.
So I think there's also like what is like tribes, it's also, it was an instant connection. Like we got along, we liked each other, and I think we also spoke the same language in terms of understanding, like driven by results, goal oriented, organized, and reliable. I do believe there's like a point of differentiation with me as a creative, is that I have that organization aspect, number one, and also driven by results. Like I'm not just gonna create something because it looks pretty. It has to look good, but also serve the main purpose of what we're doing. So I think in a way it's also very easy for me to work with someone like you. You're very direct.
Which can be good and bad.
And I know, like, there's people that might not have the, I don't know, the how do you say, the thick skin to just know that it's just a direct request or something, and that you're a businessman, you're super busy, you're always hustling, and you don't have time to like, oh, hi, how's your day? Like, it doesn't matter, where's this, where's that, and just be able to deliver. I think in a way, my family from my mom's side has a little bit of that into their personality, so maybe I was already like coming with that background that helped. But yeah, I think it was always, nice, respectful, with even like a sense of humor doing things, and it was very fun. And I also, like, I'm very thankful and appreciative that you gave me the opportunity, right? And I think maybe, like you said, like, it was really like, there was no many people, like there was really no one that had,
there was no one like either one of us. I think we were both kind of unicorns.
So it was
how we found each other,
It was very unique. And I don't know if maybe you also just, I don't know, maybe you saw my personality and how I wanted to learn things. Because I remember, like, if you were, telling me something about a house, oh yes, everything's house, instead of me just taking notes, like, where's the house? Like, over here, okay, let's go and drive, let's go there, and we will get there in the middle of the constructions and things like that, which obviously helped me understand your business, how you relate with your customers, and all of that eventually will make it on the materials that we're building for you. So
you're not afraid to get your hands dirty and get out on the job site and construction, and you kind of built my company, both the branding and the strategy, the website. I mean, you did pretty much everything, which very few people have the skill set to not only be able to oversee it, but you actually know it from the ground up.
Yeah, thank you. I also believe, like, you were already successful. My job, it was to make other people be aware of that. So I was very, very happy and honored that you gave me the opportunity. And by knowing you and working in different projects together, I think I was able to represent the brand and adapt it in a way that represents you and what your product is. What you offer. It came across very legit with your brand. And I'm very happy that I was able to set up the guidelines for you to be able to, have the brand of what it is today.
Well, it obviously worked, because I don't know if probably won't surprise you, but I am the #1 real estate agent in Cabo. Here we are in 2024, and it started with you, and here we are all these years later, and I think we built something really pretty special. So first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
And tell me about other projects, because I'm not your only project. So tell me about your other projects and how some of the things that you're kind of most proud of the things, the companies or the strategies that you used. Somebody that would want to know about you.
Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned before, I like diversity. So I think throughout the years, I have been able to develop like a system, and that system can be applied into different industries. So sometimes I'm working with a single mom that is doing pancakes and she wants to sell them in the neighborhood, and I create the brand and the e-commerce site and things like that, and being able to help and assist someone because I know they have talent and they are just really working hard for it gives me a lot of accomplishment. And then I can also be working with a company that has 300 employees doing 300 million a year, and being able to adapt also to you have to adapt to everything, like the way you talk, the way you dress, how do you direct to people, how you serve and respond and communicate. Sometimes I'm working with someone that doesn't even know how to open Instagram, and sometimes I come to work with companies that already have a marketing team established, and if they are hiring me, it's because they need help with something, right? So it's also to be very sensitive or sensible, I don't know the correct word, but to be able to respect the work that has been done before me, and that when I'm coming in, I'm not taking like anyone else's job, or I'm not saying like you don't know how you is to collaborate. Because I also think once you get hired to help something, a lot of times people might assume that it's just like poorly done, where you really have to dig and find the information and the things that they were doing correct or right, and then how to blend them. Now with Cabo specifically, like now I have projects in America, in Canada, and sometimes abroad, but by like getting in Cabo in 2000, I was able to connect with people again, not because I was like amazing, it was just like that's the only graphic designer in town, right? So I was able to have the luck, which was me being prepared and matching and I was able to relate with people very quick, and because I was delivering good projects, then it was word of mouth, and I got from one project to other projects. I helped build brands that are very successful nowadays in the community. One of the, like now that you're mentioning like projects that were really like game changers was one of the centers in Cabo that we had the president of Mexico, the former president of Mexico, to come, and I have a photo with the president of Mexico, and I was in charge of creating all of the background graphics for his press release about the opening of this new center. So I mean, something like that is like, when in the world, when I was studying, did I ever think I would be shaking hands with the president of Mexico? So those are things that are very just emotional and proud to be able to represent companies to that level that they need, and sometimes they don't even know that that's what they need, but then when you provide that to them, they just need to be able to execute and go for it.
Well, I think your timing has always been great too, because you became like this digital expert, and of course that's the direction that everybody was going, and so right place, right time, and you had the right skill set. And so tell us, is there what's the new things, what's trending, what's new in your world?
With all of the digital marketing strategies, I think, and I see fortunately or unfortunately, social media is right there at the top. Fortunately, because it's something that everyone and anyone can use, and it's available for all of us. for free, pretty much. Unfortunately, it's not one of my favorite ways or strategies, but it is there. So, and it is there, and it's not gonna go away, right? So, one of the things is to focus on social media and how to make your brand growth. AI is something that is also like, I mean, it's been there for a while, but suddenly it really hit us like last year or something. So there's definitely a lot of benefit that people can get out of all of these digital marketing tools. Everything is available. Mostly all software will give you free trials or even like free accounts that obviously are limited in the things that you are able to do, but they're there. And the good thing is that you can go and test them out. And then if they like and they produce results, then you can jump over without having to commit at the beginning or invest even. I would say social media, AI, and I strongly believe on websites, like properly built, planned, structured websites that are active and they have new content on it. I think is one of the, maybe even like a little bit underseen. I think one of the issues is that somebody will invest on a website and then that's it, and they don't do anything with it, right? So I think when you have a properly done website is a hub. So all of the different digital marketing tools are pretty much landed on the website. From the website, you can get them to your blog, you can get them to your articles, you can get them to your videos, you can have them subscribe to your newsletter, you can connect them to social media, and that's when if you're using it as an holistic approach, that's the best way of digital marketing. It's not only that you have your social media account, is that you have your social media account that get you to your websites to see the homes that are available to sale, and then they subscribe. So by doing these loops and holistic approach is when is the best results on any digital marketing strategy.
Well, speaking of results, you and I are both metric driven, result driven. How do you measure, your work? How does someone like me or your client know that it's working or not working? And what do you do if it's not working? How do you, what are the challenges, and how do you change course?
Yes. So mostly my work or in the projects that I get involved with, they all have a plan. So they all have a plan, they all have a strategy,
Everybody
they
starts
all have
with one.
deadlines. They all have deadlines, and one of the most valuable aspects is analytics. So you can get your analytics and your reports of your website. You can get all of the metrics of the email campaigns that you're sending out. You can check your like open rates, share rates, and everything. And when you actually sit to check them is the best results, right? Because sometimes it's like, because they're there, and like every time you send out a newsletter you have the report. Sometimes like it could be like people can ignore it or just don't pay attention to it, but actually like read it, like read the content, see who opened it, see how many, see if, and then test, like, see, I put this button on this color, nobody click on it. Okay, maybe next newsletter we can send out a photo. Maybe the photo will attract most people. And you can also do like break the campaign when you're sending that to certain number of clients, and you divide that. So that's a good way to test that. And I think also it is important because on my programs we have meetings with the client, with the project. So it just adds the responsibility, because one, I need to go and look and really dive into the content, because whatever, like sometimes also the analytics and the metrics could be off, like the thing say something and you're like, why is it opening here if the IP address was some? So if you get like really deep to it, sometimes it's like even confusing. So because I know I'm going to present that to people, I need to have very clear understanding of what is happening, number one. Number two, I research the metric. And number three, I have to deliver that face to face to the client. So if something is not working or it doesn't have the open rate that we are, expecting, then we adjust, and we need to really see how to perform in a different way to get the clicks. And the challenging thing is that with marketing and digital marketing and social media and videos and everything is really changing. So sometimes, like, even if you're adapting and you're then doing the right thing, maybe the results are not showing. So there's also a bit of almost like patience, because some of these things take time. Like even if you do a change on the blog, on the SEO or the back end of the website, it's not like tomorrow is gonna work. It needs time for it to process, so like the robots can actually pick out what is on the content. So sometimes could be 3 months or 6 months, and while that is happening, you're focusing on something else. So you're never sitting waiting for things to happen, but you have a plan and you test and you adapt.
Yes. So what would be some advice you would give to someone that's kind of struggling with their plan? How do they, engage someone like you to help them, because generally speaking, no one is performing as well as they would want. I don't care how good you are, or, even as successful as we are, we're always looking to take it to the next level. So I guess different people come to you at different points in their strategy. How can you help them? What at different levels, how do you help these people?
One will be understanding. So definitely know what they are looking for and what is not working and why do they think is not working. I think a very good blend for me, it has been being able to listen to people, to what they come to me and what they see, they think that what are their challenges, or their struggles, or what are they very good at, and I listen to what they said. But there's also like this like aura thing or something that I'm able to listen to what they are saying, but I'm also seeing what they're capable of, or maybe that thing that they think is a challenge, we can make it as a strength, like change it and make that thing different. So I think also is for people to understand that there's a difference when you do work with a professional, when you do work with someone that has the experience, because sometimes it could be deceiving, because all of these platforms are for free. Everybody can get in, online and do
barrier of entry, right?
Or something, right? So not because you can do it means that you should be doing it. And then, yes, so when you hire someone professional, they will see your project with a different perspective, and they are able to also bring all of their knowledge to apply it to your project. So I think it's very important for that. I think it's very people can use these platforms to have a grounding or a base or ideas, and they can try it and see where that leads them. But definitely think if they want, like you mentioned, to get to a next level, hire a professional. And sometimes even with me, like sometimes it could be that people is not sure or whatever. You can hire like consultations and do a one-on-one meeting and a clarity session or a discovery session where they will sit down with you and they can give you all of the ideas, or initial assessment. That, again, I don't know how other agencies do it, but with me, like, you can get that and then you have it, and then you can decide. You can even try it on your own, or you can hire someone else. But I think even having a structure helps along the long way.
Well, I know that you can grow as, small or as big as you need to. You have a lot of resources that you have a lot of people that you've worked with, photographers, videographers, all those kind of, you're able to bring a lot of resources. And that just kind of, I guess, you scale that with your client, whatever your client needs, you're able to collaborate with other people to bring those resources to bear.
That's correct. Yeah. So when I was, when I got to Cabo at the beginning, one, I was the only university graduate designer. But then those were the things that were happening where people, okay, they hire me to make their logo, and then they also needed a website. And like, I don't know who does a website, like who does photos and whatever. So there was a time where I needed to do all of those. And as my agency grew, I was able to hire and collaborate. I mean, I have relations with like my editor, my photographer. It's been 20 years, 20 years, 15 years, 12 years with some of them. They understand. It's pretty much like me with you, like they understand.
Oh, I saw it with my own eyes. I saw all these people coming.
Yes.
From all different directions. You were able to really pull together a big team to help us, and I was very impressed by that.
Yeah, so it's yeah. So it's been fun. You work with people you like, with people that understand you, and that's just a nice environment to be around and to relate. So that shows on the results.
Well, I'm a super fan. You helped me from the beginning, and we've been through a lot of different things together throughout the years. And like I said, they always turned out great. And so if there's ever a chance that, you can use me as a referral or anything I can do, I want to promote you. You've helped me. I feel like I have the obligation to return the favor to you. Not that you need my help, but by all means, if there's anything ever that I can do, I'm there.
I appreciate this. The same feeling this way. Anytime I know somebody's looking for an amazing place in Cabo, there's only
the guy, right?
Only one person I can think for.
You're too kind.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you want to say? I mean, I've kind of been directing this. Is there anything just kind of open-ended that you want to end with?
I think just Cabo is a wonderful place. Like you mentioned, I have indeed traveled many places, many countries, and it's very unique place. So I think you are also very well positioned. Like you're in the right place to be doing what you're doing. It has been great to have this friendship and seeing the growth of each other. And seeing the brand, continue the brand. See, I obviously follow you and see like the new adventures that you guys are doing, and I have seen also that you have a lot of your contribution to Cabo as a community is being amazing, and sometimes people show this a lot. I don't think you do enough to show this, because you have helped businesses, people, charities, centers, your team. When you believe in someone, you just believe in them and trust them.
I'm all in.
Like more, because you know that they can take more. So I think you help build characters in people, and that's very important.
I feel an obligation. I'm a guest in your country, and it's the least that I can do to give back to the community and all the people that are here. So I feel it's my obligation to do everything I can. So, we kind of have that whole side. That's a whole different part of our business, but we're very proud of what we've done. So thank you for recognizing that. And we're going to put your contact information at the end here. And if anybody, needs to reach out to you, they can find me pretty easily, and I'll make sure they get connected to you. And they need somebody like you, for sure. Everybody does.
I appreciate it. So thank you for the opportunity. It was great seeing you. And
I'll see you in December. I'll see you in person in December.
Yes, I'll be down there, and we'll plan new adventures together.
I can't wait. Godspeed.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Lifestyle in Cabo team. Bye-bye.